Growing up in a farming family, it made me realize something. It takes a lot to run a farm every single year. Have you ever wondered how much time, effort, and money it takes a single farmer to keep his farming operation up and running each year? Well, whether you have or haven't, I am here to explain these three things to you based on my own personal knowledge and experiences. I think you'll be shocked at the amount of time, effort, and money that goes into farming each year. It is truly eye-opening. The farming industry is an expensive operation where capital is required up front before gains are made. Before each season, you must go over every inch of your equipment to make sure it is in the best possible condition for the upcoming season. This is important. For example, you want your planter to be in the best shape because it provides better seed placement in the ground, which in turn provides better growing conditions. Doing preventative maintenance before each growing season is better than waiting until something breaks during the season because this generally causes more problems, which creates a higher maintenance cost. Maintenance costs can average about $30,000 to $40,000 a year, so you don't want to do anything to risk that cost being even more. When it comes to seed cost, the farmer must buy the seed up front before they ever make the first dollar. This is the same with the chemical cost. So I have corn and beans as seeds to show you guys. According to Farm Doc Daily from the University of Illinois, on average, 40% of your gross revenue goes to just seed and chemical costs each year. This alone shows that the farming industry is an expensive operation, considering almost 50% of your revenue is going to just seed and chemical costs alone. This does not even include all the other expensive costs that accrue throughout the year. Fuel cost is a huge expense because everything you do to your crops takes equipment and fuel to run your equipment. Fuel prices are not cheap, especially when the average tractor today can hold anywhere from 100 to 300 gallons at a time. Fuel is about $14 per acre, so depending on the size of your farm, that can add up quickly. If the farmer does not store all of their own grain on their own, they may take it to an elevator to store it for them while they play the market, trying to get the best price for their grain. Meanwhile, the elevator charges them a price that they deem necessary to store their grain in the elevator. Since farmers work a year round, they must commit to putting in endless amounts of effort every single day. They must be ambitious and willing to do anything to run their farm. They also must be knowledgeable and willing to learn about new technology. They must work hard to provide for America. This includes getting up early and going to bed late almost every single day to make sure that everything that needs done gets done. Farming is not a 9-to-5 around-the-clock industry. You work until your job gets finished, whether it takes hours or days. In the spring, weather is a huge factor. You must wait until the ground temperature is high enough for the seeds to germinate, and it needs to be dry enough not to rut up your fields and cause compaction. When the weather is right, you must continue and not stop until you are done, or you might miss your window of opportunity. In the summer, you must wait until the corn reaches a certain stage in the growing process, and then you must apply nitrogen in the form of anhydrous or 28 to give them the boost in growth they need to reach the highest possible yields. At the same time, you want to be spraying your beans for weeds until the beans are tall enough to shade out the weeds. In the fall, you spend long hours riding in a combine, picking corn and beans. This was my favorite time of year. When I was younger, I used to get off the bus every day in the fall, go inside, get my homework done, and then go ride in the combine for hours until it was time to get ready for bed. It was my favorite. At the end of fall, you start to prep your equipment in the fields for the next year. You can work ground and ply and high dress or strip till until the weather isn't fit anymore or the ground freezes. Then you begin to clean and prep your equipment for the next season. After listening to me explain the endless amounts of time, effort, and money that goes into farming every year, do you still think farming is a relatively easy task? I think people get caught up in their own lives and they don't stop and think about what goes in another person's job. But I think it is very important for everyone to understand how much time, effort, and money goes into the farming industry, considering that farming is one of the top food providers for us in America. I believe it takes a knowledgeable, hardworking individual with a great passion to be successful in the agriculture field.